Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Fear of the Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video. This one is going to be a Q&A video for the Walking Dead universe after the Daryl finale and leading into the final batch of episodes of Fear the Walking Dead and going over some final episodes of Fear Expectations. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another review today. This one's going to be doing another review for the Walking Dead universe. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly Q&A video leading up to the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead Season 8B, Episode 7. And we're also going to talk about some of the Daryl finale stuff and go through some of your comments and questions for that. So, yeah, this has been a really fun week for Walking Dead universe. Obviously, we've had a lot of Walking Dead information lately with NYCC. We had the Daryl finale, which I thought was spectacular. I loved it. And we did our full season review for Daryl Dixon. Yesterday, we went through the entire season and gave our overall thoughts. And I guess side note also, if you are interested, we also did our review for the spinoff series Gen V episode 5 of The Boys. So that one is also out. So we've been doing a lot of reviews, a lot of coverage lately for a lot of different TV shows. Now wanted to go ahead and do our weekly Q&A. So yeah, a lot of videos, a lot of reviews lately, so I hope you've been enjoying them. But yeah, we have Fear episode 7, which is going to be airing this weekend. I've heard some gossip that, like, you know, there's going to be the airing on AMC Plus on Friday, and then some people say no, it's going to be on Sunday. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe Fear will air early on Friday. I would love it if it did, because I kind of want to get through the first episode because I don't like the sound of it at all. But yeah, you know, it definitely, it's going to be interesting to see Fear. It's kind of crazy that we've made it to the last like 5 weeks or 6 weeks of Fear. You know, Fear has been a show that's been around for a long time. It's definitely a show that's been very bumpy. It's been a bumpy ride for sure. It's definitely not the most successful Walking Dead spinoff, although it did hit 10 million views for its pilot. So that is still something to acknowledge. So Fear does still have a, some kind of a viewing for it, right? But, yeah, it is what it is. I think Fear the Walking Dead has had kind of a bumpy ride, but it's going to be interesting to see how they wrap up the final 6 episodes and conclude this story. Hopefully it concludes. Hopefully it doesn't bleed into other spinoffs, but I guess we'll just have to, wait and find out. But in terms of expectations for the 7th episode, I mean, we're going to see Anton and Madison for a lot of that one from what I've been hearing. I know we're going to see Troy's men, although I'm not sure if Troy himself will be in the first one. I would think he would be, but again, it's kind of hard to tell. Seeing how there's only 6 episodes left, you'd think they'd want to kind of shove him in there pretty much immediately, but we'll have to see what they do. But anyway, first comment for today comes from Winter Fire, who says, Dan, just kind of a silly fun question. The Walker King that we see in Dead City, do you think that maybe it's possible that the Dama could have gotten a hold of the serum that they use in France, and that's why that Walker was so big? Maybe we could see something like that, or maybe in the future, Dama could do that, right? Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. They are going to find a way, from what we've heard from, Scott Gimple, they're trying to find a way to merge these spin-offs into a crossover series, so never say never with something like that. Obviously, the Walker that Maggie fought in 105 at Dead City, that was definitely just, a morphed together Walker that's been rotting together over the years, but, which was really cool, but, I don't think it has anything to do with, like, a serum or anything like that. But imagine that Walker King on that serum from France. Yeah, that thing would be indestructible at that point. I don't know what the hell you could do at that point, but we saw how hard it was for Daryl to fight some of those fast walkers in the opening of the finale. Think about if it was the monster walker that was coming after Maggie in Dead City on that serum. Oh my goodness, man. Like, at that point, I'd even say, like, Daryl, man, like, I don't know if you were gonna live through that one, so yeah, that's yeah, that would be really interesting. That would definitely be a very intense moment for sure if they ever kind of did something like that and used a bigger walker like that on that serum. That would be insane. I would love to see that. Next one comes from Cameron, who says that, Dan, just thought of an interesting idea for Daryl Dixon season 2. Next one comes from Cameron, who says that, Dan, I had a pretty interesting idea for a potential plot for Daryl Dixon Season 2. I'd like you to cover it in a Q&A video, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. What if they did it to where Daryl went to the graves looking for his grandfather in the finale, but he wasn't there? And in Season 2, the overarching plot of Season 2 could be him venturing out looking for his grandfather. Okay, now, here's what I'll say about that. I love the Daryl grandfather stuff in the finale. I love how they insert it into the plot. I love the scene where he goes to the graves, and I love how they kind of give that extra lore to Daryl's character. Although looking for his dead grandfather for the entire season would kind of, I don't know. I'm not for it personally. Maybe that's just me. Maybe, some of y'all would like that idea. To me, I would much rather the plot that we're probably going to be getting with, Carol going to France, Madame Jeanette, the serum stuff, all that stuff. But like, if you mean like a side plot that they could do for like maybe an episode or two in season 2, if they didn't have his grandfather at the graves, sure, yeah, that'd be cool. Although the whole season like that, no, I wouldn't really like that too much. I think Daryl being in France is already something that it's like, okay, season 2, definitely, it's still going to be in France. Season 3 of Daryl Dixon, though, I definitely want that season to be elsewhere, and from what I've heard from the rumors, it sounds like that's probably what's going to happen, right? So we'll probably only have one more season in France anyway, so it's not like we would be able to do much anyway with a grandfather plot, because, we're already going to have the Carol stuff in season 2, and we're already going to have all that stuff going on, so it just wouldn't really be feasible, but again, it's going to be very cool to see if we get any other kind of lore on Daryl's family in this show. I've heard some rumors that they may give us some young Daryl and Merle scenes. I would love that with some younger actors. That would be amazing. Maybe it's like, like a group of flashbacks throughout one of the episodes or something, like half an episode. Like that, I would love that. Seeing their father, seeing all the stuff that he did to them, amazing. I would love to see that. This is why Daryl gets his own show, because there's so much stuff you can do with his character, so much lore that you could, give him. And I'm glad they're taking the opportunity. I'm glad it's not just some like, oh, Daryl's in France, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's it. Like they're actually doing stuff with his character. They're actually giving him extra layers to his character that I never thought we would ever get. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I continue to say that it is the best spinoff, for sure. And speaking of, next one comes from XT, who says, I prefer Daryl Dixon over Dead City. And yes, I do agree, and I think the fans could mostly agree that Daryl Dixon had way more of a point to it. It had way more of depth to it. And now that Daryl Dixon is over, now that the show is properly concluded, I can definitely say I prefer season 1 better, absolutely, of Daryl Dixon rather than Dead City, because here's the thing, Dead City felt kind of like small and, a character story, right? It was very much just about Negan and Maggie in this one location, that's about it, it's like a standalone, where Daryl Dixon feels like moving things for this universe, like the pumped up walkers, the experiments going on in France, the outbreak in France, how people deal with the apocalypse in France. On the other side of the world, it's completely different. That is something very unique. It's not just about Daryl traveling along. If you think that's what the show's about, then you obviously are not paying attention. This show is way bigger, in my opinion, than Dead City. And I think quality-wise, it's better too, Not by much. I hate when people say, oh, well, Daryl show's great, so that means Dead City sucks, I hate when people say that, because I'm like, look, Dead City, to me at least, is amazing. I love Dead City. I think Dead City is great. I'm very excited for season 2. But yes, I do agree that Daryl Dixon, now that there's a full season out, I do agree that Daryl Dixon was just a bit more of that polished writing. I feel like they just did a little bit better with some of the Daryl Dixon stuff, for sure. But again, I love both shows. So again, to me, I say 2 home runs, keep it up, Walking Dead. Let's hope Ones Who Live can be better, hopefully, than both of these. I do demand high standards. I hope that Ones Who Live comes in here and it's the king of these spinoffs. I really do. And I think it will be, but again, we'll have to see, because there are still a lot of, little bits of information we don't know about, Ones Who Live. There's still a lot of things we got to learn about, so. Next one comes from Tig, who says that I seriously hope that we get some Fear the Walking Dead spinoffs. Dan, imagine seeing Rick and Madison in the same show at some point. That needs to happen. That I do agree with. That I definitely agree with. And you know what you do that in? The crossover series. The crossover series that Scott Gimple has talked about at NYCC, that he's planning right now, that he's, thinking about doing. You gotta do something with Madison and Rick. Absolutely. That is definitely a meeting between 2 leaders. Because they're so different. You know what I mean? Like, they're so uniquely, like, different from each other, but similar in a way, too. Like, they're very, like, cocky leaders and, I will kill and I don't really give a fuck what you think type of attitude. But then they've also got their weak spots and, like, they care about their family and shit like that. And they've lost a lot. Rick lost his kid. Madison lost her kid, but then Rick still has Judith, and Madison might still have Alicia, you know what I mean? So there are a lot of similarities between Rick and Madison. I would love to see them on screen together. I really would. But here's the thing. Do I want Fear individual spin-offs? No. To me, personally at least, I don't think Fear spin-offs are necessary. This is at least what I would do with it personally if I was, in charge, is that Fear would end, Fear would have a proper conclusion, and, well, if they knew what was good for them, they would have the Commonwealth come in and save, Madison's crew and take them to Commonwealth, right? If they knew what was good for them, that's what they would do for the ending of Fear. You know what I mean? For at least this reboot era, right? But here's the thing. To me at least, Fear spinoffs I don't think are going to work because the viewers are so low already for the original Fear series that I don't think that spinoffs would do good. I just don't think it's worth the time and money and effort, to be honest. So this is at least what I think. Let Fear end, let Fear have an actual conclusion, and then let those characters, maybe Madison, maybe Anton, maybe, Daniel and shit like that, they can go to the crossover series when that eventually happens in a couple years. You know what I mean? Let's say that's in a couple years from now. There you go. You can bring Madison in, you can bring Anton in, you can bring, Daniel and maybe other characters. Maybe Troy Otto, if he's still around, But, yeah, I think that'd be good. I think that would definitely be very, very good. Hopefully that's, something that they can do. I don't really want Fear individual spinoffs. I just don't really, I'm not feeling it. But I think, them being in the crossover series that Gimple is planning to do pretty soon, that definitely is a good opportunity to bring the Fear characters in. Definitely. And I think that would be, that'd be good, And finally, from Daniel, who says that, Dan, do you think that The Ones Who Live is going to feel like an even bigger event than the series finale of The Walking Dead? I'm talking red carpet, all this type of stuff. Do you think it's going to feel like a bigger deal? I could see it in a way. Yeah, I really could. I think they're going to make a big deal out of The Ones Who Live in a few months when that eventually comes out. Hopefully, Andrew Lincoln will be around in the States to be able to celebrate it with the fans. You know what I mean? Go to some conventions and some events and stuff like that. I'm sure he will be. I'm sure they'll get him down there for something. But, yeah, definitely. I think it's going to feel like a bigger event because, the series finale of The Walking Dead, it was great and all, but really just little Rick in that episode really sucks, man. It really does. So getting to see a full-on series, I think fans are going to be absolutely pumped for that. I think fans are going to be so excited, as am I. So there you go. But anyway, great comments for today, guys. Thank you all so much for your comments and questions. We will, of course, be doing our review for Fear very soon this weekend. We'll probably do a few Fear videos now, too, now that we've done all the Daryl content. I want to start focusing on Fear because Fear is ending. The spotlight is on them fully for 6 weeks. So I hope they deliver. I hope they do something good. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to miss the Daryl show. I'm not going to lie to you, but, we got to move on. We got to get ready for Fear and, see what they got for us, right? But anyway, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the subscribe button to miss any other videos for Fear the Walking Dead. Be sure to follow me at Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Fear the Walking Dead and the Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.